What's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm going to be sharing with you a very cool study that just came out, and it's actually a meta study, which means it looks at the aggregate data of another 5 studies. So this is going to be awesome for you. It's basically going to help you if you are in a weight loss journey. It's going to help you improve your chances significantly of keeping that weight off. And if you're a client of ours, because I'm in 2 groups right now, you'll be like, okay, great. It's exactly what Miguel told me to do, which is pretty cool. I gotta admit. So this is a study done by, well, the lead scientist was Dr. Marie Spreckley. She's a PhD in nutrition and health sciences in Amsterdam, and they looked at a lot. They looked at basically people that had lost at least 10% of their body weight. So let's say if you started at 200, at least you lost 20 pounds, right? If you started at 300, at least you lost 30 pounds. And then they followed them around for a year and then 3 years to really look at at what happened. And guess what? So 30% of the people that lost at least 10% of their weight, 30% kept it off at the end of 1 year. 30%. That means 7 out of 10 by the end of the first year, they had already gained it back. And it gets quite intense. You will be able to see if you extrapolate to 3 years, then only 15% of people kept the weight off. The other 85 not only gained it back, they gained more than they had lost. So this is important. If you watch one video of me ever, this is it. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the link to it, and of course, it's all here. I think I can make it a little bit bigger. It's right here. I'll share the link with you guys, and those of you that want to, you're more than welcome to just go and read the whole thing. This comes to no surprise to me. And again, if you are a member, you're probably going to see many of the things that we do, and you'll understand why we do them. So, okay, but just for the sake of this, so let me make it a little bit smaller. And let me tell you this. So they wanted to test out of the people that kept the weight off, 1 year or 3 years after they had lost the weight, what were the common denominators, right? Were they following a specific diet? Did they keep a certain lifestyle? Like, what did it? What allowed them to keep the weight off when so many gained it back? So again, this is a systematic review, which means they looked at many other studies and they compiled the data. Those are usually the best ones, right? And so the number one factor that they found was that it made no difference what diet or nutrition approach you were following, right? So in the long term, it made no difference whether you were doing intermittent fasting, low carb, keto, carb cycling, flexible dieting, you name it. It made no difference in the long term. What they did find was a direct correlation between the level of adherence and the people that were able to maintain it. So basically saying it doesn't matter which nutrition strategy you follow, as long as you find it enjoyable, as long as you find it realistic, as long as you can stick with it, it will work. So you can then see, so often do I hear, okay, but what specifically do you do? Like, how do you do it? Because I spoke with my friend and my friend is doing this and this. And I'm like, don't worry about what your friend is doing with us. This is about you. And you're a very different person than your friend. So stop it, right? Because if we do our job right, we're not just going to put you on the same nutrition plan as someone else just because it worked for them, right? We know that it has to be specific to you. Right. So at the end of the day, and they actually quite recommend that the individual should choose the nutrition approach based on their preferences. Because again, the easier it is for you to stay consistent with it, the the more likelihood of you keeping the weight off in the long term, which is like, well, duh, right? Number two, and this is important, everybody that kept it off, they continued to self-monitor. So whether they were tracking their calories, they were weighing themselves, they were exercising portion control, like maybe eating with those containers that have like a, okay, this is your protein, this is your carbs, whatever. But they definitely kept up the monitoring. So there is a cycle that I've observed several times. We're unhappy with our lives. The thing that is the most evident is how out of shape we may feel. So we address that. And lo and behold, you lose the weight. At least, you come to us, you lose the weight. Your life is not just health and fitness. There's many other areas of your life, right? Your relationships, your work, your own self, personal development, you name it. But if the only area of your life that you addressed was the fitness and the weight loss, when you just become a thinner, fitter version of yourself, but still immersed in a life that is very much out of balance, right? And so what does that person think? Oh, life is still shitty. Life is still a mess. Well, I lost this weight and it didn't fix all my problems. Therefore, calorie counting must be the devil. That Mexican with the beard, he was wrong. Calorie counting made me unhappy. Wrong. You were expecting your weight loss to turn your whole life around and to fix every other area of your life, and that's not realistic, right? There you go. Every single person that goes through that unfortunate cycle and that then swings all the way to the other side where they go, I'm just not going to track anything. I'm just going to, here I go and learn how to live like that. Well, great. You are part of the 85% of people that probably is not just going to gain it back. You're going to gain more than that. The real strategy is not to backpedal, is to elevate and to grow your ability to handle life. So, but there you go. The people that kept it off continued monitoring. No surprise there, right? Now, something very interesting was that everybody that kept monitoring found they had more freedom and they were able to enjoy eating out while still hitting their goals. Whereas the people that, that had a very hard time keeping the weight off, they literally pointed at the fact that there was no planning. They easily gave into peer pressure and they felt too constrained. They felt too deprived. So then they dropped it. They stopped monitoring because they were feeling deprived. And then they just swung too far the other way, right? The people that were able to continue monitoring, they hit their goals, and they were able to enjoy those special events without guilt because they planned for it. For example, okay, tonight I'm having dinner with my friends. I'm going to perhaps do intermittent fasting today. I'm going to save up some calories in the first half of my day so that I can really destroy a large pizza tonight. Monitor, right? That's why I equate it so often with how you spend your money, right? It's just numbers at the end of the day. Okay, number 3, the third factor, the people that kept the weight off constantly set goals. If you've heard yourself think, well, I don't have any goals right now, this should resonate. The people that continuously kept setting goals and continue reassessing themselves as they went along, those were the people that did best. And I'm not talking about, okay, now I want to lose more weight. I'm talking about, like, it could literally be something like, okay, well, now I want to see how many push-ups I can do. Now I want to see how fast I can run 5K. Now I want to climb Mount Benson. I want to, whatever. It can be whatever. It literally could be something as simple as how many times per week will I work out this week? And if you remember, you probably know every single Monday we make a post, hey, state your commitments. How many times are you going to work out this week? What's your food going to look like? Like, at least setting those intentions is important. That's why you see everybody that is like, oh, I'm just going to float around and hope that it all works out from it. They're statistically speaking, they belong to the 85% that not only gains the weight back, they gain more than that. Okay, number 4, social support. They had strong social support, specifically from people on a similar journey. Interesting. They had people to celebrate their wins with and people to help you back up when you struggled. So you can see, this is a good one. Number 5. So the fifth factor that contributed to this, enduring challenges. Now you're speaking my language. There's 2 kinds of challenges that they identified, intrinsic and extrinsic. So intrinsic was, I don't have time, emotional eating, self-doubt, and extrinsic were, things more to do with life, right? Work stress, deaths in the family, divorce, right? Those that turned to food for comfort and had a lack of structure or accountability, those were the people that failed to keep the weight off. And look, the reason this is important is not because, if you gain some weight back, it's all gone to shit. No, it's just that if you consider that a failure, right? If you consider that, if you're like, well, I was very unhealthy, I had to get healthy, I had to get active because I wanted to be whatever, fitter, happier, stronger, to be able to enjoy life with my partner, my family, great. If you move back in the direction you were going, well, that's not ideal, right? That's in direct opposition to what you said you wanted. And the challenge with making progress and then sliding back is that it affects us mentally as well. Not only does it affect you physically and your health, but it also affects us mentally. That's another scar that we got to live with, right? We got to crawl our way out of that. So then they looked at different lessons. So when it comes to enduring challenges, that's why last week we did the life balance wheel, right? And we're talking, this was a presentation that we did just for our members, where we look at life in all the different areas of life, not just fitness and weight loss, but how's your career? How are your hobbies? How is your personal development? How are your relationships? How are you doing in the parenting section? Like, evaluate life as a whole instead of just one, because sometimes, us humans, we're just not that great at many things, right? And so remember what I said earlier? It's not about being like, maybe I didn't want to be healthy and live till I'm 90. Maybe it's too hard. Like, that's not the answer. The answer is stepping up, learning new skills. You suck at time management? Learn how to manage your time, right? Enduring challenges. That was one of 5 factors that predicted whether or not you were going to gain the weight back. And then they looked at lessons from people that did gain the weight back, right? So they went back and they looked at all of the common denominators. And number 1, they said it was hard to prioritize tracking their food. Straight up. I think that if you at any point have tracked your food, you agree that, well, at the very least, it's going to be 5 minutes of your day, right? Now, I get you. Sometimes I don't track, right? That's fine. But it's when you just say, it's too hard. That's at least one of the common denominators in the people that gained all the way back. Another one, they continuously engaged in emotional eating or boredom instead of enduring challenges, asking for social support, and continually reinvent themselves. That means you're creating a different identity in your mind, right? You're basically you're writing down in paper, okay, this is who I am today. This is who I've been so far. This is who I want to be. This is the version of me that I want to be. And then you go ahead and you start living life like that version of you. They gave into social pressures. Here's a good one. Weight fluctuations really threw them off. So guys, I'm telling you this because I struggled with some of these things myself. And I want to, this is not just what I'm saying, right? This is a study, right? That you can come here and read, or I can just give you the end result. But make no mistake, if you find it, if you give in, if you just say, oh, this is too hard, I can't do it, then you're going to be part of that 85% of people that gain the weight back and then some. If you're really tired of struggling, then stop struggling and start learning. Straight up. So the people that were affected by their weight fluctuations the most, they stepped on the scale, they would see the ups and downs, which is normal, right? It's normal. Every one of us will fluctuate about 2% of our body weight per day, right? So say if I weigh 200 pounds, it can be anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds every single day, up and down, right? The people that were able to weigh in, acknowledge it, and continue to stay consistent, those were the people that saw the best results. That's why we suggest to weigh in every single day, because eventually you just get desensitized. You're just not as sensitive, okay? And then you can actually just be like, oh, okay. On the day-to-day, it's going to go like this, but as long as I stay focused and I keep doing the thing, it is going to go down, right? So anyways, guys, that's the summary. I just saw Dr. Lane Norton make a video about this study, and I quickly went to it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is literally what we show our clients how to do. So if you need some support, drop a comment, and I'm happy to help you figure out where you're at, what's missing, and how to get you to a point where not only you lose weight, but you do it properly, right? I can tell you guys, regardless of whether you're already members or not yet, to us, like a major red flag is someone coming in saying, hey, don't really tell me how it works. Just make me lose weight. Like, that's a major red flag. That means that mentally you're just not ready for the amount of work that it actually takes. And we can say, oh, I'm tired of feeling like this. But if you're not ready to put in the work to stop feeling like that, then you're just going to have to keep repeating that pattern until you finally are tired of struggling and you're actually ready to do it right. Anyways, guys, hope this was useful in some way. As you can tell, I'm not here to just give you fluffy stuff, but just to give it to you straight. And I hope that is useful for you. Okay, have a great rest of your day. Love your faces. I'll see you soon.